and welcome to another episode of the Women's Basketball Talk Show. I'm Brandon Bice. I'm the assistant women's basketball coach, and I'll also be your host. As always, I'm joined by head coach David Smalley, and today we'll even have two freshmen join us, Asia Williams and Kaylee Darnell. Welcome, Coach Smalley.
Glad to be here again, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep, and as I said last week, hopefully when we have this next talk show, we'll be 5-0, and sure enough, here we are, 5-0. So we're going to review the last three games and then do a preview of this weekend's Bevo Francis Classic games that we have. First, Coach, let's get into the Goshen game from Friday. Goshen, a team that we went up and kind of stole one from early last year. We thought they'd come down. We thought it'd be a battle. We thought we were going to win. We didn't think we were going to win like we did, though.
Well, we didn't, but I think part of that was simply because, we got such a dynamic group. As you people out there that's watching these shows, you know who we are and what we have. But I think we were just ahead of them. I think they were a little slower on preparation, and I think we were just kind of clicking, and we kind of a buzzsaw. And that Coach Miller I think she's kind of like my sister clone, and she wasn't happy. We just kind of put it to them 108-76 in that game. China had 17 points. I think Avery had a double with 11 points, 13 rebounds, and kind of the star of that particular game. And that's so unique, as you and I have talked. We have stars every different stars every game, different stars each quarter sometimes. And our star at that particular game was Ella with 22 points and 7 rebounds. So that was a big win and a good win for us to get things started off.
Yeah, and with the Goshen game, that's what we prepared for all week. So,
Yes.
we felt we should live up to the billing with that one because we got to prepare. Saturday's game, on the other hand, was one of those where, we get to walk through and do a little bit of a scouting report, but really you just kind of go on the fly and play them, and that's Concordia. And Concordia, a very tough team that usually gets national respect, very well coached. Can you talk a little bit about that game as well?
Well, as you alluded to, that turnaround is really, really tough in college basketball. Our philosophy here in our program, we're not going to look ahead. We're not going to plan for two opponents at the same time because that gets daunting and gets confusing. As you mentioned, we had plenty of time for Goshen, and I think that game plan really showed. Very quick turnaround for Concordia, but we got to watch them the game before. Our players got to see them. And, it was tight, and we needed a good tight game against a good opponent. We ended up winning 83-70. In that particular game, China Chambers had 12, Haley Jordan 10, Asia Williams, one of our stars today that we're going to talk to, had 9. And then Ella also had a great showing on that particular game with 25 points and 8 rebounds. And one of the accolades from Ella and her game preparation and all the production was she was our first River States Conference Player of the Week. So that's a huge shout out to the team in general, because players don't get Player of the Week awards without having a solid team around them, and you got to win. You got to produce, and in most cases you have to win. So that was a great game, and as you mentioned, they're well coached, and that was a good win for us.
Yeah, solid team. I think that was our biggest test up to that point. We faced adversity in the game, which I thought was needed, and we really responded well to it, and the result was a W. So we stand up 4-0 after that. And you talk about River State's Conference Player of the Week. Again, Ella, had they, given River State's Conference Player of the week before, we would have had Haley.
Yes.
So again, we keep mentioning each person. We have a different player each quarter. We have a different player each game. And that kind of leads me into the next thing with Shawnee State. Last night, we played Shawnee State, and I'll let you talk about it.
Well, last night, again, Shawnee State, again, a storybook program that was started by Robin Hagan-Smith, who's an alum from Rio Grande, and she took that program from a two-year school or athletic program to the four-year NAIA powerhouse that it currently is. And they're a good ball club. They have a new coach, a new system. They got some players that we learned last night. We were able to counter a couple of those players, and then another player kind of got away from us and scored 38 points. But the most important thing about that win, that was a big win at Shawnee, and my statistician and historian is telling us that's the first win that this program has had in Shawnee's house, and that is true. Shawnee has had our number over my tenure for 30 years, so that was a big win. I'm really appreciative of the coaching staff and the players for making that come to fruition, that we got that bear off our back, so to speak. The bear's a little bit in hibernation right now. We had a great game. And the two that we're talking with today, they along with a plethora of other players on this team. We'll start with Kaylee Darnell, 7 from 9 from the field, 15 points, had 8 rebounds, and she had what we call timely production. When we needed something, we needed a bucket, we needed a play, that young lady seemed to rise and shine. Then Asia Williams, in 7 minutes of play, 8 points and 6 rebounds, and she was in there fighting amongst the Goliaths on the floor. She's going in. 6 rebounds. Did you hear what I said? That little thing had 6 rebounds, 8 points and 6 rebounds in 7 minutes of play. That was huge. That was huge for us. And then, we had I think Ella had 13 of her 16 points in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. So it was just, again, it's different people, different times, doing what they need to do. Rio, we shot 52% from the field. We shot a fairly 71% free throw line. We only got there 7 times. The opponent, Shawnee, got there 25 times.
It was a home game.
It was a home game. You got it, and that's something our players have to learn on the road. It's not red carpet and hold hands, sing kumbaya. You're going to get hammered on the road, and I thought we did last night. One of the negative things, we've been doing a great job of taking care of the basketball. We had 26 turnovers, so that's kind of a recap from Shawnee. But we got a W last night.
Yeah, with the Shawnee, anybody that thinks that that's an easy out or an easy win, you obviously haven't played them. That's a solid team, and like you said, everybody chipped in, from Ella scoring 13 in the first quarter to Darnell scoring 9 of her 15 in the second half, and then Asia's minutes whenever she came in. People picked up. Even in the first half, limited minutes with a Reagan Willingham going in and hitting a 3. I mean, this team is so selfless and goes in and plays the role. And I'll tell you what, the people on the bench were probably giving more effort than the people on the court, and the people on the court were giving 100%.
And speaking of the people on the court, I know you on Facebook, you gave some shout-outs. The crowd was unbelievable. And when I say unbelievable, there were a lot of people there, and there were way more Rio fans there. Of course, Kaylee Darnell from the Wheelersburg area. Avery Harper had her high school team from North Adams that showed up that I don't think anybody knew was coming. And that was huge. As you stated, when you have a home court presence on the road, that is huge and fantastic. And that game is also, we have what's called the Dick Highland Award. And Dick Highland was a tremendous supporter of both Rio Grande College and University of Rio Grande and Shawnee. He had ties with both programs. He has passed away, but in his honor, there's the Dick Highland Traveling Trophy Award, and that's what this is right here. So we will hold that until we have another battle with Shawnee. I think we're going to hold that for a few years here, but if whoever wins that takes that trophy home with them. And then also, Miss Darnell they create the Dick Highland Player of the Game from each team, and Miss Darnell was our Dick Highland Player of the Game. So we're blessed to have the trophy, that we bring it back to our house, and then of course Miss Darnell was the Dick Highland Player of the Game.
All right. As much as we'd love to sit here and talk about that victory, let's look forward to our next 2 games. So this weekend we have the Bevo Francis Classic. Friday we're going to play UC Claremont, and then on Saturday we're going to play Rochester. Could you preview the UC Claremont game and the Rochester game for us, please?
Well, the UC Claremont game, first of all, they just beat one of our league teams last night, or just recently, Ohio Christian. So UC Claremont is not going to be a patsy that that we just have to show up. They beat, I think, what's a pretty tough Ohio Christian team that has a very good player and post player that averages a double-double. So they're coming in here. They'll be our first opponent on Friday night. And then more than likely, well, I think it is predetermined, we will have Rochester on Saturday. Rochester, as you'd indicated, is kind of in that Concordia category. Great program, good program. getting some national recognition last year, probably will again this year, and they're coming into our house, and it's going to be a great test for us. To be honest with you, I don't think we don't know a whole lot about Rochester at this point. It's going to be another situation where we're going to watch them play Friday, and then get and make a quick turnaround and be prepared to take care of business with them on Saturday. But it's going to be another tremendous test. Going into this season with the schedule that we had at this point, the first 4 games, and then Shawnee last night on the road, and then Concordia. This is a good challenge for us, and so far we're taking care of business.
Yeah, and if we were fortunate enough to make the national tournament, I think we will be.
We will be.
You got to play that Friday, Saturday to advance to the main site. So these first 3 weekends we've played Friday and Saturday, so that when that does occur, we can say think back to whenever we played Friday, Saturday. We know how to make quick adjustments. That was part of the scheduling. That is why we did that. Before I let you go and we bring on the freshmen, do you want to acknowledge the basketball that you have in front of you?
I do, and we're blessed. China Chambers at the Goshen game, if I can read on the camera here, China Chambers, November the 5th, 2021, and the win, Rye 108 versus Goshen 76, scored her 1,000th career point. I believe she is now the 33rd player that scored 1,000 in this storybook program. So we're going to present her the ball on Saturday. We got another player that's knocking on that door, Avery Harper. That should be coming up pretty soon. And I also want to give a shout out to the Bevo Weekend, President Smith and Athletic Director Jeff Lanham. They do a great job. We got to keep this story going. It's a wonderful story. And we got the Hall of Fame going on this week. On Saturday, we're inducting Jenna Smith from Indian Lake High School from 2010 and 11. One of the purest shooters that we've ever had, averaged 46%. Shooting the threes over her career, scored 1,554 points, 294 threes made, and I think maybe that may still be the all-time record. I'm not sure. That's going to be, Jenna, love you, baby. But that's probably going to be broken here pretty soon, but we're going to honor her. And Coach Warnemont, our baseball coach, will be another inductee, and then Troy Donaldson, who played basketball here, who's also the husband of our volleyball coach, Belina Donaldson. So it's a great weekend. Come out and support these young ladies and our men and all the festivities that's going on with the Bevo tournament.
Yep, thanks, Coach. And now we're going to bring up our freshmen to speak with them.
All right.
Welcome back. I'm joined now by freshmen Kaylee Darnell and Asia Williams. Welcome, ladies.
Glad to be here.
All right, so want to touch on a few things. First off, congratulations on being 5-0 and a big win over Shawnee State last night. I guess I'd like to start off with each of you. We'll start with Kaylee. You're a freshman, so let's educate some of the people, our fan base and the University of Rio Grande fan base. Why did you choose to come to the University of Rio Grande and to play women's basketball here?
When you guys first started recruiting me, I knew that it would be one of my top options. I wanted to stay close to home. So then I came on a visit here, and the second I stepped on campus, I just felt at home. The coaches made me feel welcome, and there was even a few players that came here with me that immediately made me feel welcome. So they had everything I wanted here, so I just feel like this was my best option.
That's great. Asia?
Personally, I chose Rio because when I first came on my visit and I watched you guys play, I think it was Asbury, I just seen the atmosphere, and I realized that, you guys are a family. You guys are, everything that I've wanted and everything that I was looking for, and so that's why I decided to choose Rio.
Great reasons to come to Rio. Now let's dive into a little bit of your early careers. I don't know if you all know this or not, but just being 5 games into your career and have an entire fan base chant she's a freshman, it just doesn't happen to anybody. You both have had that in your first 5 games, which is pretty awesome. Can you kind of tell me about the adjustment from high school and how you've started to find your place in this roster, Kaylee?
It's definitely different from high school to college. The pace is completely different, but having my teammates around me just has really helped me transition from high school to college. And the fan base, you could not get any better than what we have. So they really just get us going, and I feel like it really helps me and Asia and the rest of the freshmen out.
Yeah, and it's definitely a different scenario for both of you. So Kaylee's kind of just been thrown in there, and we're like, okay, here you go. You're going to start with these 4 veterans who have all this chemistry together, and we need you to fit in with them, and you've done that very well. Now, on the other hand, we have Asia. Asia's coming off an ACL around January. Is that right?
Yes.
Came back, was cleared early, went to all of her rehab, did everything to get back early and be in this position. And you kind of serve as like a backup role. And even in the first 2 games, maybe, a third or fourth string backup of where, if you got some minutes, that was cool. Around the 3rd game and the 4th game and 5th game, man, you've really been utilizing the minutes that you're getting. Can you kind of elaborate on your role and how you attack it?
I mean, I know my role is, when China's not in, I've got to fill the shoes of China, and China is a great point guard. And she's what I look up to. I'm looking at her and I'm like, okay, she's doing this well, so I need to work on doing this, so that I can work well with, the team chemistry and all that.
Yeah, and although she is small, those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 of us to fill her shoes. So with all of that, can you all got your first taste of the rivalry game of Shawnee? Can you, Kaylee, you're from around there. Asia, you're not too far from there. So Kaylee, can you kind of tell me, you had a lot of family there, you had a lot of your community there. Sure, that was probably one of the schools that you thought early on in your career could have been an option, but you end up coming to Rio. Can you talk about, what that win meant to you or that game?
I mean, it meant a ton to me. You had so many people there supporting us. Like I said, the fan base is out of this world. So it just meant the world for us to not only get that team for ourselves, the team, but also the fans there supporting us. I knew going into that game, everyone hyped it up to be, wow, this is a really big rival game, but you don't really know how it feels to play in that game until you're there. I mean, the atmosphere is crazy. I can't say that I've ever played in a game that's been that intense the whole time.
Asia?
I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, that school's close to home, and I feel like, when we first walked in the gym, the gym was empty. There was nobody there, but by the time the game got ready to start, the stands were full, and I was like, wow. But you've seen more red and black and white than you've seen, blue, and that just showed us that, our fans really cared, and in my opinion, they helped us win that game last night because they were loud, they were engaging into the game, and they were cheering us on for every little thing that we did correct.
Now, I'm going to put a little pressure on our fan base here. Our average age of fans are a little up there. And whenever we're going like this, that means we want you to stand up and get into the game. There was points of the game last night that I really felt that our fans, gave us that extra energy when we were drained or we were tired or we were facing adversity. So we would like to say thank you to all the fans that made the trip and that make all the trips to our home games, our away games. Truly, the girls love it, and it means the world to them. Okay, so now let's go ahead and preview this weekend. So we're 5-0. We got UC Claremont on Friday, and then we have Rochester on Saturday. Now, you haven't heard too much about Rochester because we never look ahead, but we've told you, they're solid. They won their conference regular season last year. They were a national tournament team. So what are your expectations for this weekend, Kaylee?
I mean, we have another big weekend ahead of us. Obviously, the goal is to remain 7-0 and continue the good record.
Asia?
I mean, this weekend is going to be huge. It's going to be, one where both teams are going to come for us because we're 5-0, and they want to break our winning streak. But we just got to realize that, we can do it as long as we stick together and we play to our full potential.
Awesome. Now, we're going to wrap it up. Kaylee, can you kind of give me a season goal for yourself and for the team?
For myself, obviously my role is to go out there and just do what I can do to make the team better. So I just want to go out there and perform the best that I can to help the team out. Team goals, obviously we have like 3 main goals that we want to accomplish throughout the season. First, stay focused and take each and every game one at a time to help accomplish those goals at the end of the season.
Asia?
My personal goals are just, to improve and to continue getting better and help my team get better. And then our team goals are obviously, to make it to the national tournament and to win our conference and, to win a national, like a tournament game so that, we have more confidence and, we're able to move forward.
Awesome. Well, I know one thing that makes Coach Smalley, Coach Markham, and myself sleep better at night. We have these young ladies for 3 more years, and you're going to get to enjoy them. There's something special. Come out and watch them along with their other teammates. This weekend we play Friday at 6 o'clock, and then we play Saturday at 3 o'clock. Very entertaining, awesome kids to come and watch. We would love to see you out. Until next Wednesday, we're going to wrap it up with just come out and support us. We're going to put on a good product, and we'll see you next week.